Hello everybody, thanks for tuning in today. I hope your day's going great, and today we're going to do a completely different style of video. I'm calling it grab and go. I'm gonna be just blindly reaching into my drawers, pulling out whatever I grab, and that's gonna be part of the look. I have things pretty categorized in my drawers, so I'll know that I'm like going in for a foundation, but I have no idea what one I'm gonna choose. I have zero clue what direction this look is going in, so it's gonna be kind of a surprise and really fun, I hope. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my primer drawer, I'm going to pull it out, I'm going to reach in, I'm not looking for what I'm going to grab, and here we go. Okay, I've got the Tula Face Filter Blurring and Moisturizing Primer. What this video hopefully will do is cause me to use some really random things that maybe I haven't thought about in a while. It's kind of a different style of Shop My Stash. But this primer, I do like it, except I don't like primers that spurt out of the pump. It doesn't usually do that. But this one has like a little bit of color to it. Can you see how like right where I put that? But it came out looking white. So it's got like some kind of little pigment bead in there, right? That's, I guess, bursting on contact and giving you a little bit of tint. Just barely any, not really like a coverage type feel. Skin looks a little more radiant with that on, I'd say. Okay, we've got Milani Conceal and Perfect. It's in the medium beige shade. Hopefully that works for me. Oh, and I meant to share, got my squirrel mug today. How many falls have I been bringing out that thing? I feel like I want to use a sponge for this, so I'm gonna need to go dampen that. Guys, I've been having like the strangest morning. I mean, I've been kind of out of it. I walked by the coffee maker on my way to like put my contacts in and go to the bathroom, and I could have swore I turned it on. I go over to it to start making my coffee, the light is not on. I thought I heard footsteps in the house. Could have sworn I heard somebody walking around as I got done feeding Bubba first thing this morning. And I get downstairs, Bub's still in bed. He's still sleeping. It's like, is somebody in my house? And if they are, why are they messing with my coffee maker? I don't know. Probably nothing. I probably thought I hit the button and I just didn't. Yeah, you didn't think you were coming here for ghost stories, did you? But also this morning, usually like clockwork lately, I mean, we've got an alarm that goes off at 5 and I will wake up like just a couple minutes before, just naturally, you know, the body is just thinking this is the time when we get up. But today I didn't. In fact, I slept through the 5 o'clock, and I think Bub just had it snooze for me because the alarm goes off on his phone, and I barely like flinched when it went off at 10 after, and I'm like, oh no, like what? I was still in a deep sleep, and I remember having like a pretty vivid dream at that time, but I can't remember what it was now. Dang it. Okay, so I've got that Conceal and Perfect all blended in. It seems like really medium coverage, and I thought it was more close to full. In fact, let's just build it ever so slightly just to see what we can make out of it if I add a little bit right up in here. Yeah, it is seeming rather buildable. Like it's seeming more full in that area now. All right, friends, now I'm going to pull out a concealer. I'm opening up that drawer. I'm just gonna reach in, and I'm kind of reaching back a little bit just so I don't get something real recently used. And we'll just pull out what we get. Oh dear God, no. LA Colors Ultimate Cover. The shade is Ivory. It looks like a dang white. Sorry, why do I even have that? Okay, we've got Giorgio Armani concealer. It's the Power Fabric Concealer here in 3.5. Oh, I remember kind of not liking this because it got gunky around the top area, but that's okay, we'll work with it. Put a little bit out here. This has not been a real frequently used concealer. I think I wasn't incredibly impressed, and I remember thinking, why is it so overpriced? And not really messing with it a whole heck of a lot. Getting that all blended now. It's definitely gonna be a compilation of products here that is random as heck. Okay, just dabbing in with my brush. It's looking a little thick on the under eye actually, and it doesn't seem like it would be that thick of a concealer. That area is looking nice. Maybe it's the foundation also contributing to kind of a thickness in that zone. Might go over it just a little bit with the Beauty Blender. I did double apply the foundation up in there. Oh, it's looking thick. I don't know, the coverage looks pretty good. Just kind of go over it with this. See if I can get rid of any excess or just work it in a little better. This is my e.l.f. sponge, by the way. I really like it, and I feel like it has a texture that's super duper similar to an original pink beauty blender. I say pink beauty blender because I've tried other colors of beauty blenders that don't feel exactly like the pink. Does anybody know what I'm saying there? Like, it's got just that little bit of porous texture. I think that's gonna work. I mean, I'm feeling good, pretty good coverage wise. Next, I'm pulling open my powder drawer, and I'm just going to grab out a powder that I can use to set things. It is the ColourPop No Filter Setting Powder. This is in the shade Translucent. Okay, there's a little product that's shaken out there into the cap. It's an interesting size here for a loose powder. Most loose powders are like double this size of container. I'm gonna apply a little bit of this on the under eye. It's really mattifying. It's making it look pretty dry though. Like, I'm trying not to over apply the stuff, but I can see like little cracky creases. Like, it's looking kind of crepey, I would say. Not loving, but I kind of do need to set my T-zone forehead area, so we'll continue on with that. And I'm kind of making a mess. I'm just kind of working my way down my drawers, and I'm going to pull out some kind of bronzer or contour product. Just going to reach in. I got the drawer pulled all the way out. So what are we going to grab here? Oh my gosh, this is from the Besame Mermaid collection. It was the Mermaid Lagoon collection from Peter Pan, I think. This is the Golden Sand Bronzer Compact. It's super cute. It's this gorgeous like gold shell, has kind of a retro feel to it, as a lot of Besame things do. And this beautiful imprint here. And I remember having this and being kind of late to trying it, and then the product was no longer available, and I felt funny using it in a video, but we're gonna use it today. This is a really like soft and natural tone of bronzer, I feel. I think it's gonna give us, you know, definitely a bronze we can see, but not too intense. Besame has some incredibly impressive pressed powder products. Like their eyeshadow palettes, when they put out a special eye palette, you'd be shocked at the level of pigment in those palettes, you know, for a brand that's mainly known for lipstick. See how I'm getting a really nice, soft, gentle contour? There's a little warmth in this shade, but not overwhelmingly. Taking it down the neck a little bit. Actually really liking the tone. The texture is very soft. And if you look up close, you can see that pretty detail in there. Everything about Besame's stuff, like, so well done. So thoughtfully done. I feel like I'm bronzed up enough, you know, just gently bronzed. I like that. Got my blush drawer open. I'm gonna reach in and just grab something. What will we get? Ooh, we have the Tarte Blush in Exposed. Oh my gosh, it's like this one was saying, hey, you should have mentioned me in the products that don't always look that impressive video, but look prettier on the skin. I at one time had a lot of these Amazonian clay blushes, and I now have just 3, and this was one of the survivors. Exposed was always really popular. Like, it had a huge moment on YouTube. Does anybody remember that moment? Look at how it's going to give me the most gentle rosy cheek, but it looks like that in the pan. These are blushes that always touted long wear, these Amazonian clay blushes, and I do feel that they can wear a long time. And they're interesting because they got a nice amount of pigment, but you're not immediately overwhelmed. Like, as soon as you put your brush in, you have a chance to sort of build it to a place that you like. That's beautiful. Rediscovered. And next we're to the highlight drawer. I'm gonna reach back. Maybe I'll get a different texture of highlight here. Benefit High Beam. Okay, there's a throwback. This was kind of a highlight before highlights were cool. I think I might use this F53 Air from Sigma. It's the contour / blush brush, but I think it might blend this in well. So this is a liquidy product. It looks kind of like nail polish. It's gonna have the capability of setting kind of quick. So I'm gonna just do one cheek at a time. You never wanna really play with any Benefit product that comes out of this format. Don't wait around too long, like on their stains and stuff like this. Look at that. Ooh, love that. Okay, really like it. What did I do? Like 3 dots? 2, 3? And that is so radiant and pretty. I kind of want a little more radiance elsewhere on the skin. What I'm going to try to do is actually paint a little bit on my hand, smooth and even that out ever so slightly. Dip my brush into that, and then just kind of graze it around lightly. forehead. Whoops, getting a lot of hair in there. That do anything? It's interesting, this shade can go from being very metallic, like in a concentrated look, to just really gentle and pearly. And I think that's because there's no like actual sparkly filler type pigment in there. It's just really smooth. I could not have predicted that these particular products would have been in this look. I grabbed a random setting spray here. This is from Smashbox, and it's the Photo Finish Primer Water in Love Ritual. It's the Jasmine and Rose. I think this was like a special edition one. Smells incredible. Next up, I'm going to dive into my brow stash here and just pull out something that maybe I haven't used in a while. We've got the Dalton Arch Master here. So this is one of the few shaped and very formed brow products that keeps its shape. You see how slim and slender and skinny that is? This is a brand, if you're not familiar with Dalton, this is sold on QVC, and this is a 3-part brow product, so you can twist off here and you've got like a little tinted brow gel. This shade is called Universal, and then you twist here and there's actually a powder. So you could take a 3-pronged attack on your brows if you wanted to. I'm going to use the pencil and definitely that gel. But see, you can turn it sideways and use, you know, I'm using it the long way with that pencil here. It's a nice product. It's probably one of the most innovative brow packaging ideas because it's got so much in one, and each step is really different from the other. You know, they've worked in a powder, they've worked in a pencil, they've worked in a cream gel kind of deal. So talking about dreams earlier, do you guys often remember your dreams? I mean, sometimes Bub gets up and he's like, oh, I had a couple really bizarre dreams, and he tells me about them in detail, and I'm like, I can't even remember. Like, I mean, sometimes I know I'm experiencing a dream just because I remember waking up out of something that I was really dreaming about, but I can't remember the dream. Why is it so fleeting many times, you know, the thing I was dreaming about? Maybe so many of them happen just within a deep sleep, so like if I am woken up out of the dream, I'm so quickly back to sleep that I don't have that time to consciously think about it. I don't know. I'm gonna use this little guy here. I love the brush, it's so small. And the gel is actually good, like it's got a creamy tint to it. Yeah, this is a neat product for sure. Here's my new weird dry patch tendency area right in here. Like, I think maybe when I use eye cream, I'm all up in this area and I'm not like getting it up here, and I don't think I'm really moisturizing in that area either. So I think it's just a spot that's going untouched by my skincare. It's right in there, underneath the brow on the inner part. I'm gonna go to the general area where I keep eye primer. We'll see what I grab. There's only a few there, so there's a good chance I could pull out Milani eyeshadow primer. Okay, drawers open. And I'm going to pull out, no, we have Profusion No Budge eyeshadow primer. Okay, sorry, nothing against Profusion. I think they make a great eyeshadow, but it's hard for me to trust. Texture feels pretty smooth, a little bit oilier feeling than Milani, but it does have some coverage there, as you can see. Try to get it nice and even all over that eye area. For eyeshadow palettes, I have a drawer or two right down here that has like some kind of smaller palettes, just more compact stuff, and it's right down here. So I'm going to pull out one of those drawers, and then I'm just going to reach down in, and whatever I grab will be what we use today. So I have not pre-screened this. I don't know. Oh, Dose of Colors Blushing Berries. Ooh, it's beautiful. Look at that. And it kind of goes with the shirt today. Okay, Dose of Colors has these beautiful matte palettes. I could have easily grabbed Sassy Siennas, Marvelous Mauves, or Baked Browns. These are really, really nice, very intense, very like softly textured mattes. Move some of this out of the way. I'm trying to keep everything out that I've used so I can really review when we get done. I think I'm gonna start out first off with this. It's the lightest shade in the palette, and you really want to tap off the excess here. But it's gonna be pigmented, as you can see. So I think it's a nice little starting point shade. So I've been thinking a lot about the new Too Faced pumpkin spice palette. And I'm really enjoying using it just for its randomness. But now I'm starting to think, you know, what does it compare to? Are there other alternatives in your collection that you might have that, I don't know, could do what it's already doing? So that's sort of where I'm at right now. Like, I personally am liking it. Like, I've turned out some really fun looks, but what's its worth in comparison, you know, in the context of other things Too Faced makes, other things I have. So, still working on it. I just noticed a brow hair that I need to tweeze. Sorry, we're all friends here, right? Okay, then I'm gonna just work my way down and go to this shade, which is really like kind of a rusty red. Like, you take away that middle shade and it's not quite such a purely berry palette, right? You know, that one's bringing that little bit of splash of orchid and magenta and whatever, but if you take away the center shade, it's a bit more of an earthy palette. Like, this shade has some rust, kind of a dusty quality to it. Not in texture, but just in tone. Kind of letting myself just really blend those two shades together, really work them in here. I've got a nice blended out feel. And then I'd like to go kind of dark on the lid. I'm thinking of skipping over to this shade, this plummy color. We may still work in that more pinky shade before it's all said and done, but I'm gonna try some of this. And really get kind of a smoky thing going here. Look at that really intense plum. And I was thinking if somebody else wanted to do this kind of a video, or just do it at home without shooting a video, but you don't really have things organized drawer by drawer, or, you know, things are a little more mixed up, you could go ahead at the start and like set out a small selection of things for you to just pick from. You know, you could kind of group them together, or even put like certain types of things in a Ziploc bag and draw out that way. For me, this is part of why I love like doing my makeup here and being surrounded by the majority of my makeup, like within arm's reach. Everything's just very accessible. I need to use more of what I have. Can we agree on that? I feel like I didn't get the smoothest application of that all over here. Need to work it up a little bit more into my crease if I want it to merge with what I put there. Now let's get to blending. You know, it's just like this really hazy berry gradient thing happening from dark to light. Definitely want to get out just a bare brush so I can hit the outer edge of everything. The shades are nicely blendable. They're just so intense, and you've always got to be mindful of tapping off the excess. Like, I'm seeing some little bitty fallout flecks over here. I feel like I need something a little bit light coming from the inside. There is a nice brush here. It's like a smallish kind of detail brush and then a pencil brush. Pencil brush is really, really pointed, but I'm wondering if I can use that little guy with my lightest shade, which the lightest shade even isn't so light here, but just something to blend into that depth. I'd like to see a little bit of this really pinky shade come out here, come out to play. That's interesting, kind of pairing this depth on the lid with that sort of fun fade. Gradient style in these palettes, the real light to super dark quality really lets things blend in a very logical way. I'm thinking about adding in the black, just a little bit on the outside. Why not? We're taking it there. You thought that plum was dark. Then you add in the black. Man, are you set for a smoky eye with this or what? I've just put that on the outside, but that really just amped up the drama of this look so much. I'm wanting to also take some of that black with a pencil brush and work it down here, down below. Now switching to plum. I really hope at this point I get some kind of pencil liner that I can put down there in the lower inner rim and further like take this to a complete smoky eye place. Hardly anything is on my brush right now. Making sure I got that black evenly applied. A little fallout from those shades, but all things considered, it wasn't terrible. Could have been a lot worse. Now I'm just gonna grab in for a liner. Whatever I grab is what I'll have to use regardless of what color it is or what texture it is. Okay, I got a black liner. It's the Infallible Longwear Eye Pencil in black. I don't think I have ever used this, but I do remember sitting at a side thinking like, oh, I wanna use that. This is gonna be great. I swear I didn't cheat. I just grabbed in, but this was exactly the kind of thing I wanted. To be able to go like this and also smudge it between the lashes and just get that truly smoky eye going. What I mean by smudge it between the lashes is once you've gone in your inner rim, kind of dab it there within your lashes. And then I suggest taking a smaller brush like a smudger brush and work that into whatever your eyeshadow situation is there, okay? Bring in that drama. And then I want to use that on the upper lash line as well for a smoky, smudgy liner there. This is a pretty soft pencil. Like I'm not having to apply a lot of pressure. And it's also doing pretty well considering that I'm going over like a great deal of matte eyeshadow here. Sometimes that can give you a little drier experience putting on an eyeliner over all that powder. But okay, I've got that applied across the upper lash line, pretty close to the lash line. And I'm just seeing if I can get any smudging out of this. Just going over it with my smudger brush from Sigma E21. I don't know, this is an okay pencil, but I'd like it to be actually even creamier because trying to get a nice even line over here is a little bit hard. I mean, I'm gonna smudge it out, but you know what I'm saying. Anybody want even more pink to kind of flare out of this? I'm going back into that center shade, but this time with the E36. A little tip for when you are applying like kind of an accent color like this, whether it's a neutral or a bright shade, start putting it on like overlapping your darkest stuff in the outer corner and come out from there. Don't think, well, I want it to be on the outside, so I'm going to place my brush here first. Where you first place your brush is where the most color goes. So if you want it to really fade nicely, start over your darkest stuff and then let it start to buff out, you know what I mean? Then it really fades beautifully and doesn't look like just a block of additional color. I hope I'm explaining this well enough. Like, sometimes I wonder, like, does this just make perfect sense in my head? Or I like that. I think we needed a little more of that. Just to remind people, this is a berry look. I'm just gonna grab out a mascara. So ready, set, go. What do we get? Bad Gal Bang. Okay, that's gonna wear like iron today. And then maybe I just go ahead and grab out some of these magnetic lashes that I haven't used in a while. So this mascara has a nice skinny brush, rubber brush, flexible, tapered toward the tip. Really, really juicy when I first started using it, and now some of that is kind of going by the wayside, but I find it really resists removal. Like, it's a trickier one to get fully off. That being said, it does wear nicely all day. It's just taken me a long time to get to that sweet spot where I feel like, okay, it's building on itself super well. You know, it's just dried out a little bit more. It's taken a bit to get there for me. I'm going to put some of this on my lower lashes as well, because I think it'll wear all right there. I really think some lower lash mascara is necessary when you're doing a smoky eye like this, because the eye needs that little bit of softening, especially a black smoky eye. Like, it just needs that fringe. Anybody else feel like the classic smoky eye has gone by the wayside a little bit? Like, we just don't see it quite as much as we did, I don't know. I'm thinking back to the days when I was in the other house in the bright pink makeup room. I feel like I was doing more smoky eyes then. I feel like I want to pop on a little more of the exposed blush, just a little more up on the cheek. Just because the darkness of the smoky eye can sometimes suck the life out of everything else that's happening there. Then, like I said, I got a couple of sets of these little outer corner lashes. And I'd like to pop on maybe the Ardell ones. I think those will be a little easier. They're just the Ardell magnetic lashes that have a top and bottom that kind of sandwich your own lashes. But yeah, my mascara is still drying, so definitely let the mascara dry first. Hi guys, for lip colors, I'm gonna go for a liquid lipstick today, and I know those are in this drawer. It's gonna be a nude or a neutral. Dig around in there. Not really feeling, but just trying to dig deep. I got the Meet Matte Hues. This is the liquid lipstick from the Balm, and the shade is Sincere. So hopefully this works out with the eye color all right. Oh, the scent on these. Thin Mint Cookies, 100%. Is it Girl Scout cookie time? Okay, I'm really glad I sort of confined the lip color options to that, because I just didn't want something too intense with this eye. This shade is seeming really perfect. I'm finding myself wanting to re-experiment with a lot of different liquid lipsticks lately. Just kind of assess, you know, what's making it through the day, what's feeling good as I go throughout a day. So it's an upper and lower. This is the only like real type of magnetic lash in this style that I've been able to have a lot of success with. The little outer corner ones. They've grabbed on, but they're not sitting on the lash line, so we gotta try again. I did have a trick with these where you kind of, you know, instead of sitting them right on your lash line in hopes of magnetizing, you sit it up a little bit higher, and then when that magnetic cling happens, they're in just about the right spot. Oh, but it's still kind of hard. What happened here? Why did I subject myself to this again? I feel like from a distance, they're incredible. Up close, can you see like the utter jump off happening right there? Can we make this sink down just a little bit there? I'm gonna stop there with the fussing with the magnetic false lashes, because if I do any more, I feel like my own natural lashes are gonna fall the heck off. This is the look that we have from our complete grab and go, just not even stopping to look and think and sort through what we're gonna use, but just going for it. This Milani foundation, I was kind of expecting a little more out of it for whatever reason. I think I remembered it as being a little more coverage than it actually was, but that's okay. You know, we were able to build it. The Giorgio Armani Power Fabric Concealer is not bad, but for the price, I don't really think it's worth it, considering there are so many good drugstore concealers out there. I just can't like make that feel worth it to me. The ColourPop No Filter Setting Powder, at least in combination with these things, I thought it made the under eye look pretty heavy and kind of crepey. Once I popped that on, it kind of seemed to highlight every little fine line there. I really liked these accent products like the bronzer from Besame, the exposed blush from Tarte. That was a nice little rediscovery. Also Benefit's High Beam, I thought gave a lot of radiance all over. You just kind of got to know how to work with that one and work with it fairly quickly. The Dose of Colors eye palette, was really glad to tap into that, and it makes me want to rediscover the other ones, and I like the smoky eye that I came out with, and I think I'm going to really enjoy this lip color. It feels like it's dried down, but it's not terribly uncomfortable. So my battery light is now flashing. I'll take the hair down so you can get the full effect though before I leave. Thank you guys so much. Let me know if you enjoyed this style of video, and I will see you again soon. Bye.